Yodelay, hee-hoo. Yodelay, hee-hoo. What's this Barry hat on the floor? Remember that Barry hat? I've got a story about Barry. What was that Prince song? She wore a raspberry beret. Is that it? I don't know if that was what that is. Anyway, yes. So I want to now move on to toxic, dysfunctional friend groups. I did make a list because I find that my friend, hurry up, my friend. These gang stalkers. Where was I? This is kind of connected. The toxic dysfunctional friend group connects with am I dating a narcopath? Sometimes the narcopath comes to you as a psyop. What I mean by that is the worst narcopath that I became ensnared with or entangled with, there was only one person or one friend we had in common on Instagram. I know it's weird about you have to decode things by, oh, this person unfollowed this person on Instagram, oh, this person is a mutual friend on Instagram, oh, this person liked this person's picture on Instagram. However, in this time, 2025, you can gauge a lot of psychology, you can gauge a lot of games, a lot of mind play by how people interact with their social media. Now, she was connected to one person, and that one person was actually someone who used to support me. However, they were in a position of control when it came to my music, and they wanted to dominate me and sort of push, have a play their hand in anything that I was doing. And once I got hip to what they were doing, I pulled back. I decided to stop, doing what they wanted. I stopped showing up. I let them know. And they sent this person to basically derail, to slow down my progress, to distract me. And if I'm looking back at it, I can say it did have an effect, and it worked to a certain degree. It did work to a certain degree, because when this person came into my life, I can guarantee you, I can correlate that every single or the majority of people who became interested in my work went down, which is, I don't believe in coincidences. But going from someone who was getting lots of people getting in touch with me, lots of emails, lots of offers from promoters, lots of things. As soon as I started dating this person, all of it dried up. Now, you can look at it as a energetic thing, as a destiny swap, because what happens with a lot of the time is you begin to get drained energetically by people, by low vibrational beings, and their life goes up, so they start getting good opportunities, they start getting attracting positive things, and you start to attract the opposite. You start, it starts off small, like you start, you might get a certain bill that comes through the post that you knew was coming, it would turn up on your doorstep. You might go outside and find that you forgot to pay your parking permit because these will distract you. So you got a fine on your car. You may go to work. You find that, there's a project's been put on your desk for you to finish in a very short time. Everything that could go wrong in your life will start manifesting in the reality of your life. Now, I can also go on to speak about this friend group. So I'm going to do maybe 2 on this video. We can continue it another day. All right. Happy New Year. So the first thing that we must know that we're dealing with these toxic, dysfunctional friend groups is it's all ego. Everything is ego. The way these people look at everything. At the end of the day, we're not people. We don't think like these people, but they think in a very, very strange way, where it's always about putting people in a order. I can recall even times when the project manager at my ex-workplace would send an email about the positioning of where to find the toilet. This is information that's not important. So where on the site is the temporary toilet found on the site in a construction site? He would email it to us, and he will email it to one person, and he'll copy in everybody on the team, and and each name was placed in our order of like seniority. Like it would be supervisor, then the person who's the head of the site, then the person who's been the longest with the company, and then the person who come after him, and then come after him. And every now and again he'd put like say in my case, he would put me above someone that I had more skill than. So that was his way of putting things in order. That's how these people, everything has to be order, right? And that even comes to where how they play things. They have to have you sticking to the program. They have to have you playing, to the status quo. And sometimes we anointed beings, we chosen beings, we come and we disrupt things. We disrupt things, by just jumping over people who came before us. We may have more, we can notice things quicker. So in terms of detail, we see things. So we're able to learn faster. We're able to make quicker connections with certain people. So we jump over them. We're able to retain information sometimes, so we just jump over them, and it just comes with one of our gifts, our memory, etc., etc. And these people don't want to allow this to happen. So what they'll do is they'll team up and they'll start working against you. So this could be the second one. So the first one is all about ego, if you're just toxic friend group. Number two is the feeling of jealousy, envy, sabotage. So this will happen in terms of people will team up against you. And so I heard this somewhere else, and it's a very, very good point to remember. Whenever you're anywhere and you see that people are coming against you, this is actually a good sign. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a good sign. It shows that you're so powerful. They couldn't actually defeat you by themselves. They had to gather support from other people. So be aware of this. I remember at my ex-workplace, I would wire a box, and there will be one piece of rubber that you have to put on first. And this supervisor would allow me to wire the entire box without the piece of rubber that I had to ask him for it. And as soon as I finished, he'll say, "Oh, you forgot this rubber noose," which is just a little piece of rubber. And I'll have to undo. It would take me about an hour, unwire everything, take all the nuts off, and then put on the rubber, things like that. So they sabotage you. They directly make life hard. I wanted to do one more. I'm coming to a busy part of my walk now. Another thing, I was going to put in the secret competition, and this happens usually behind your back. What would happen, an example of this is if you make music, or if you do art, and there's some kind of software, and everyone's getting this digital software, and everyone learns about it, and they're all messaging each other. They'll cut you out. So nobody will tell you about this software. No one will tell you. If there's I know there was a producer that we all sort of was well known for the style of music that we made, and this producer, engineer, he ended up passing away in a car crash. So I didn't get to work with him, which is crazy because my style suited him, but I didn't know. So everybody else in this group worked with him, and he passed away. I never got a chance to work with him. A very great producer. But this is how they work. They're always cutting you out. They're always making a situation where you're left out of, group gatherings, they'll go out, oh, they'll say, oh, we forgot to invite you. Even when we did my first release, they went out for drinks. I wasn't told about this drinks. They went out to celebrate the release, and I wasn't even there. So there's a lot of tomfoolery that goes into making you feel less than, making you feel like you're not a part of something when you're the actual thing. So it's all about sort of playing it to, you know, turn things upside down. So the head is the tail and the tail is the head. This happened very much at my workplace, where, you know, they'll get the person, the head on the site will be someone who has less knowledge than you, less know-how than you. He wouldn't have the right equipment on his van, and you'll be there, and they'll ask you for the, you know, for maybe a specific type of equipment, a special tool or cable that you've got on your van. And when it comes to giving credit or giving praise to when the job gets done, nobody would say anything to you. So say, for instance, it would be a detector which takes a special communications cable and it's say RJ45 type of connection. Is a special kind of way you have to wire it in a certain order. I can't remember what it is right now. Brown, white, brown, green, all these little cables you have to put into a special connector. You would have that special tool and no one else would have it. You would make off, maybe on the site there's 5 of them, and then it gets done, it gets taken off tickets, and nobody says, oh, well done for doing it. Literally the other person will get told, will be given the praise. All right, we'll leave it here for now. See you on the other side.